Hello everybody, good evening. Fiona Hooper here, back again with the Poetry of Painting. And this week I've got a slightly different show for you yet again. It's a show with two guests this week. We have the lovely Rosie Hodson, one of my poet guests, and another poet guest, Martin Goldie. So let me just bring them on the screen. Bear with me a moment, please. Rosie, in you come, and Martin. Hi both, how are you?
Hi, Fiona.
Good to have you on the show. Thank you very much for coming on. So this week we've got, as I say, a slightly different show. So we're going to have poetry and art and talk about a very exciting project. I am so excited today. You should have seen me earlier. I was a bit like Tigger bouncing up and down. You know, it's some things are happening, which we shall get on to in a minute. Just so exciting. And some bits I can't even tell you about yet, which is even worse because I want to tell people and I can't. And I've got to keep it all bottled in, you know, but it will be coming out. There will be some reveals coming out sometime soon. So welcome everybody who's joining us either live or on replay. Don't forget, please make comments, ask questions. And Chris says, good evening all, lovely to be with you. Good to have you with us, Chris. Thank you.
Hi, Chris. Hi there.
And if it's on replay, we will answer your questions and comments as soon as we can afterwards. So there we go. So the exciting news, we'll just do a little bit very briefly first before we get into some poetry. The exciting news is that my book is full steam ahead, in fact, in publication at the moment. And you may have seen some social media posts. You may even have got emails from me because we're launching it by crowdfunding. So that will pay for the printing and publishing and the actual physical copies of the book for the rewards on our crowdfunding page. And then anything over those costs will be going to Alzheimer's Research UK, which is a charity very close to my own heart and that of a lot of other people I know. My mother's in late stages of Alzheimer's at the moment. My uncle died from it earlier this year. Chris's mum also died from it, sadly, before I ever knew her. And so many other people are either going through this with either themselves or with loved ones or friends and family. And you know, it's something that anything that I can do to help get new treatments developed and help people with that, then I'm really happy to do that. And that's what this project is all about. And it includes some of my art, but it also includes for each painting 2 poems, one by yours truly and one by one of my guest artists, such as Rosie and Martin here with me tonight. Chris says, brilliant effort. Thank you, Chris. It's going really well, but we'd still like all the support we can get from everybody. And if I know times are difficult for people, so if you can't afford to donate, if you can just spread the word, spread the links, share the posts, that would be fantastic as well. So even if we just get a few more people supporting us, be brilliant. So that's the first bit about the book, but we'll come on to it a bit later again. So tonight we've got some poetry for you as normal. And actually we didn't sort this out in advance. So as Martin is going to do 2 poems and Rose is doing 1, shall we do Martin do one first and then you, Rosie? A Martin, Rosie sandwich.
a rose between Rosie.
Indeed. So Martin, which poem of yours would you like to do first for us?
I thought I would do A River Runs Through It, which was the first poem I did for the show.
Yes, that's the poem that the painting that's on the wall behind me here.
Yeah,
I've got another one to put on the screen in a bit for your other poem, so that's why this one's not on the screen at the moment. So I don't know if you want to talk about the poem first or afterwards, or just read it through, whatever you like.
Yeah, well, I'll read it. I'll read it and you can see what chat comes from it.
Excellent.
So this is A River Runs Through It. From an arch of aged stone where eyes like ours for years have stared, along that precious beat, gazed upon that avenue of dazzling birch, and to a distant shelter lee, where spring lambs play and fatten on sweet verdant grass. That ancient span, countless eyes have seen that blue cold river run through that quiet boulevard of coppered splendour, pleasured in the glint of sun on silver bark, watched the endless tide of gentle ripples forever brush the shaded tree-lined bank and melt. And by that snake of rippled water, above a bed of polished pebbles, I see a slender birch stand naked, barren, bare and lifeless, in death its beauty plain and haunting, the thinnest twigs like brittle bony fingers stark against the blue-tinged sky, and hidden in that empty birk's strong shadow, deadly still, cold toes dipped in silver dancing sun-kissed ripples, a hungry heron crouched to hunt for that next precious meal. In that pastoral I hear the cheering chirp of giggling finches, hid amid the frail and lucent mandarin-hued leafage, hear the kind breeze whisper through the gentle swaying foliage, and in that warm autumnal air knows the fragrant scent of mossy birch and tired red campion. And when the autumn idle shifts to winter's certain chill, and in life's adding frenzy my busy mind is displaced by the river I go, I will stand forever silent, plump cloud.
Oh, we missed a little bit of that last verse, Martin.
Oh.
Could you do the last verse for us again?
Yes, I could.
Cut out a little bit.
And in life's madding frenzy, my busy mind is distant, displaced by the river I go. There in the evening fading sunlight, I will stand forever silent, plump. Thank you.
It doesn't like your last line. It cut out on you again.
Exactly.
The word plump, that was it.
Aye, my favourite line.
And try it once again.
Yeah, it's and watch plump trout jump for flies.
Got it this time.
That time. Yeah. I wonder why.
Brilliant. That's really weird because both times, just the same. Wow. Well, thank you so much for reading that one again for us, Martin. I know you've done it before on the show.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it then, and I loved it again now. So thank you. It's just
no bother. Thank you.
Takes you to the scene and fills everything in around you. You can smell the smells and hear the sounds of birds and everything. It's lovely. Thank you. Chris says, wonderful poem, such rich language. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Chris.
Thank you very
really
much.
Is lovely. So thank you. So did you want to tell us anything about the poem before we move on, Martin?
No, it's just it's a poem I really enjoyed sort of building from the painting, and just everything in it is sort of either what you see or what you can imagine from looking at that sort of painting. And I quite enjoyed because you're allowed to use a bit of your imagination, and I put in that you are standing on the arch of a bridge looking down the river, which is totally imaginary, but I think it's quite nice that you can look at a painting and use your own sort of imagination of where the artist is sort of taking the picture. So what you don't see, you have sort of free rein, effectively.
It's what it says to the viewer, and in your case,
Yeah, that's right.
you're on a
Yeah.
bridge looking at the river. Brilliant.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you. Yeah. So just a little tiny snippet more about the book. I was asked if I could think of somebody to do a foreword for the book. And I did come up with an idea, and I checked out this idea through a friend of mine. And unfortunately, the person that I asked wasn't going to be able to do it, although they would have, certainly been up for it. But because of something else happening in their world at the moment, which I can't tell you much about. But they provided me another contact, and this was at Alzheimer's Research, and they have been absolutely fantastic. So I now have a foreword for my book, and I am just so when I just read the email saying yes, they would love to do it, and they'd written it, and I read it, and I was so excited. And it's just, I can't tell you who it is yet. That's a secret.
Okay.
But I think you'll all realize once you see who it was, why I am absolutely so excited. So that was a real thrill today. And I really want to share it with you, but I can't. I'm not allowed to yet. But it all will be revealed gradually over the next couple of weeks, so you will get to know who it is, and but it's going to be a bit of a surprise. So there we are.
Looking forward to that.
And when the book's published, it's going to be available online. So if you're watching from somewhere abroad, somewhere outside the UK, you'll be able to order it and not have to pay postage and shipping from the UK. So that'll be even better for you, and you'll still be supporting, raising funds for Alzheimer's research.
Yeah.
So Chris says I'm a tease. Well,
indeed.
You've got to be sometimes, haven't you?
Oh dear.
Yeah, I bet he
Well,
knows.
Rosie, would you like to perform? In fact, are you performing tonight, or are you reading? You're performing, yay!
Hey.
Would you like to? Oh no, hang just before you do.
It doesn't really work if you don't play it.
No, just before you do. Sorry, this is a warning, an alert to everybody. Okay, because I am ready for this one. I have other makes are available, I should say. I have ready for this a box of tissues, because this song, every time I heard it or read it even, made my...
Don't say that, because you'll make me. I've got to be careful I don't. Oh, dear.
You won't. You're professional, Rosie, and I'm just a softie. So
when I practiced, the first time I practiced it after not having sung it for about a year, I was like,
oh, Ritesh says it feels like a party here. It certainly is, Ritesh. It's great fun. So carry on listening. I was just teasing them about the foreword, Ritesh, and no, I haven't told anybody who it is yet. So it's a secret, and we will be revealing it, won't we? So Rosie, over to you.
Okay, so this one's about the other painting on the screen behind you. I don't know what kind of tree it is.
I think it was an oak.
Looks like an oak.
Thank God.
No, it was definitely an oak.
I hoped it was an oak because, well, you'll see why. But I chose to write it as if I was the tree. This is going to really annoy me. It's going. Oh, there we are. Yeah, so it's written from the tree's point of view, and I've just kept the same title, Standing Proud. Okay. Here I stand, tall, proud and true, against the sky of milky blue. The wintry sun casts silver beams that seep in through my bark and seams. The freezing rain of winter's night has given way to gentle light. I spread my limbs to catch each ray, drinking the beauty of the day, and the memories of all the years, sights I've witnessed, joys and tears. All these memories I do store deep inside this oaken core. The two young lovers lost in bliss, under my branches stole a kiss. I felt no anger at the pains, when in my side they etched their names. They picnicked in my emerald shade, years later on their children played, among my limbs so broad and strong, while robins trilled their merry song. And the memories of all the years, sights I've witnessed, joys and tears, all these memories I do store deep inside this oaken core. Then many years along life's road, they'd visit still, their movement slowed, and sit on deck chairs on the grass, and talk with me of good times past. I still remember that autumn day, with bitter wind and sky-led grey. She came alone, her body shrunk, and leaned her head against my trunk. And the memories of all the years, sights I've witnessed, joys and tears, all these memories I do store deep inside this oaken core. Sometime I knew our time was past. The seasons change, they do not last. The sap within me rose with pain. I never saw her face again. So here I stand in winter's chill, my leafless branches stark and still. Once verdant fields stretch out below, now covered white with sparkling snow. And the memories of all the years, sights I've witnessed, joys and tears, all these memories I do store deep inside this oaken core. All these memories I do store deep inside this oaken core.
Nice. Good stuff, Rosie.
Oh, thank you.
I managed to
Ha, ha, ha.
hold it together.
You managed it,
But-
just.
I mean, you got halfway through, and I knew what was coming, and I was like,
I know I couldn't look at you because you just started me.
good. Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Mm.
Oh, Chris says, excellent. You and McCall would be proud to have written and performed this song.
Oh, thank
There
you.
you go.
Oh.
And Matasha said hello to you both Rosie and Martin.
Hi,
Hi,
Ritesh.
hi there.
And just to mention, of course, that both of the poems you've heard so far and the one that Martin's still to recite to you yet will all be in the book. So, and Rosie's poems, she has more than one poem in the book, and they're not all sad like that one.
No.
Yeah, so some beautiful poetry in the book from 10 international artists from as far afield as America, Scotland, not that far, but Scotland, and that's Martin here with us
Australia.
tonight, and Australia. So yeah, we have a real mix. So it's looking absolutely fantastic. I've seen the design of it and everything, and can't wait to actually have a copy in my hands. It's going to be so exciting.
Brilliant.
So Martin,
Super.
would you like to read your other poem for us now?
Yes,
I will
absolutely.
put the painting on the screen because I don't have this one behind me.
Oh, I've not heard this one.
This is Tuscan Farmhouse is the painting. And I think, did you give your your poem a different title, I think, for this one, Martin?
Yes. Well, I couldn't remember if I had read it as Tuscan Farmhouse or I don't often. I usually keep the same name of your painting for the poem, but I did in this instance change it to Until All the Ghosts Are Gone. So that's what it's based on the painting Tuscan Farmhouse, but that's the title. You ready for it, Fiona?
Oh yes, very much.
Right. It's called Until All the Ghosts Are Gone. History, it roars from that crumbling farmhouse, nestled and belonged by grove of gnarled and twisted branches. Hugging limbs froze in flaky sundance, shade-thick stone walls, shield heart and hearth of that beloved home, thirsting under baking sun. In its dusty acres, no space is ever wasted, from welcome threshold to tidy verges, where rabbits scratch and lonely crickets cool and lust with constant trill. Honest strips of Tuscan soil shimmer blonde and stretch beyond, hushing wheat and fragrant fields of lilac dancing. Its mottled yard, forever children safely played and laughed and cried and grew and loved and raised, laughed and cried and loved and died. In spring, the winds blow from Mont Tambour's purple rusted snow-draped slopes, crossed pieces, miles of quaint quilted hills. Hush enjoyed beyond final haunting peal of Angelus, those with time to sit with time, in their moment rest on earth. Earth once turned by those who came before, those who in their time marked that Tuscan soil, actors in that farm's long drama, names long gone, existence now forgotten. Summer wind blows hot from blue azure, in that Tuscan heat, by rich soil is sucked from ancient furrowed earth. It spirals high to hazy space, dances free, hailed by the breeze. The dust, this dust we cannot see falls to lie as dust again. Buffeted fields where strong men browned and parched and sore, dream the dreams and sing the songs and ape the toil of men before. From that rich Tuscan past, unchanged today from yesterday, and future until all the ghosts are gone. As it always does, roars on. Thank you.
You were cutting out a little bit again at points there, Martin, but
this one was going forward.
Yeah, even more reason for people to buy the book and enjoy reading the poetry for themselves, because that poem's going to be in the book as well, and it is just superb. Especially with its missing words added back in. So
wow, that's so great.
Another plug for the book and raising money for charity at the same time. So Chris said, by the way, Rosie, that your poem wasn't sad, but a true reflection on life.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm just a softie, and I thought it was sad at the end, but
it was sad. It was kind of. I don't know if you've seen the film Up.
I don't think so.
It's kind of it's a sort of cartoon, it's animated, but it begins with this elderly couple, and their book that they've planned what they're going to do, and they're going to do all this traveling, and they keep this book all through their teens, and then they get married, and they have kids, and then you see them very, very fast. It sort of zips through to them where they're old, and then she basically obviously has something wrong with her, and then he loses her, and they don't ever go on this trip.
Oh.
And all is this in the first 5 minutes, and you're like,
Yeah.
But then in the end, he goes and kind of does the whole thing for, like, in her name, you know, or sort of on her behalf, and it's about his adventures doing that. But yeah, that first bit, it did give me that idea, really.
Yeah. Oh, lovely. Oh, and Chris says your poem was beautiful, Martin, as well. So.
Oh, thank you, Chris. Thank you very much.
Thumbs up there. So, yeah. So we've got just a few minutes left. So, Rosie, tell us what's been happening in your world at the moment.
Well, my world got a bit overtaken with work that is nothing to do with art or poetry, unfortunately. We've had a lot of COVID going around my workplace, where I normally only work 1 day a week. I'm now been put on 2 days a week, and last week I worked 5 days.
Oh,
and then and then there was another day where I'd work a voluntary job in between. So in fact, I worked 7 days in 1 week. So
That's like,
It's too much.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I've had a few commissions. And it's been a very slow year, so they were quite gratefully received.
And do you have space for any more commissions before Christmas?
Yes, I do. I mean, funnily enough, I've got a pottery one. But then, I have space for more house portraits or building portraits. And actually, the most recent one I've done was a picture of 2 dogs.
Excellent.
Which didn't think I could do, but I'm pretty pleased with it, but I can't show it. So
a surprise for somebody.
Yeah, that's right.
So if anybody's looking for a special present for somebody, get in touch with Rosie, because she does these amazing house portraits. And dogs, of course, now as well. So. And Martin, how about you?
Yeah, it's all. I've actually got a book of poetry, a collection, getting published in November, and the 21st of November is the launch in a lounge bar in the city centre in Glasgow. So let's all go for that. So
excellent.
I've not seen the book. The publishers are just in the final stages of editing, and just the cover's stunning. So
Brilliant.
Pleased with that. Yeah, and it's
a good cover really helps.
It's a stunner. It's the publishers. It's their in-house sort of designer. Yeah, and he came up with about 4 options, but there was one that stand out. And that's the one that's been chosen. So there's one. The publisher sent several of the poems away to different poets to do endorsements. One's back, and it was a belter by a poet that I really enjoy as well. So
that's excellent.
That was really nice. So
excellent, brilliant.
So I'm looking forward to the launch. My boy, he's a poet, believe it or not. I follow in his footsteps, which is strange. He's going to do there's him. There's another couple of poets. I'm not quite sure of who the other. I know one, but I'm not quite sure who the other poets are. And so there's music. I'll read some of my poems. My boy will read another couple of poets. So it's a great night. You do a great job.
Well, wish you every success with that.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm beating you to the line because my book's launching, or our book in actual fact, all of my poets and myself, on Sunday the 13th, later in the day, because it is Remembrance Sunday in the morning. All day, but the main activities. And the crowdfunding ends not next Tuesday, a week on Tuesday, on the 8th of November. So any support you can give us, folks, that would be fantastic. So it just remains for me to say thank you so much to Rosie, Martin, all the people watching who've been making comments and joining in with us. Thank you so much, everybody. Great to have seen you this week. And thanks again, Rosie, Martin. Take care.
You're welcome.
And, have a good week, everybody.
Thank you. Bye now.
Thanks, Fiona.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye. Bye.